If you feel worn out today, don't click away. In just a few minutes, around minute 9, we'll pause and pray together. Not perfectly, just honestly. Dear friend, there are mornings when the sun rises, but your soul doesn't. The light spills through the window, but it doesn't quite reach the heaviness in your chest. You hear birds singing, the world waking up, but inside, everything still feels dim. Some mornings, we don't wake because we've rested. We wake because our hearts are tired of lying still in the dark. You sit up slowly, not because you feel ready, but because the day keeps moving, and so must you. There's a weight you've learned to carry. It doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It just settles quietly in your soul, like a fog that never really lifts. And even if you haven't spoken it out loud, even if no one sees it on your face, you know what it feels like to live on the edge of giving up. That's where this moment begins. Right there, in the in-between. Between weariness and hope. Between silence and surrender. You are not here by accident. And if you stay with me until around minute 9, we'll pause together and pray. Honestly, gently, just as we are. So, before the world gets loud again, just stay here with me a little longer. Let your heart breathe. Let your soul be seen. Because maybe today isn't about finding all the answers. Maybe it's just about knowing you're not alone. I remember Mary once told me about a season in her life she could never quite put into words. A season where everything on the outside looked fine. She woke up, she made coffee, she watered the little plants on her windowsill, she smiled at neighbors during her morning walks. She even sang softly while doing dishes. But inside, she was dry. She called it the desert of the soul, because it felt like she was walking through life, but not really living. She still went to church every Sunday. She bowed her head when others prayed. She nodded when someone said, "God is working even when we don't see it." But in her own heart, she couldn't feel him. She couldn't hear him. She couldn't even tell if he was still near. There were nights she'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if her prayers had hit the walls and fallen flat. She didn't feel angry. She didn't feel rebellious. She just felt forgotten. And no one really knew. Because Mary was the strong one, the one people turned to. The one who always had a verse or a gentle word to comfort someone else. But no one knew how many days she had spent silently wondering, God, did you leave me behind? Is my faith broken? Is it wrong that I'm still showing up, but not feeling anything? She told me that sometimes even holding her Bible felt heavy. Not because she didn't believe, but because she didn't know if it still had something for her. The silence had lasted so long, she began to wonder if maybe this was just what life with God felt like after a while. Quiet, distant, hollow. And yet, even in that desert, she kept walking. She kept praying. Even when her prayers were just a whisper of the ones she used to pray. Lord, I don't know what to ask for anymore, but I still want to be near you. Somehow. One morning, it was still early. The kind of early where the light hasn't fully settled and everything feels fragile. Like the day hasn't decided if it will be kind or heavy yet. Mary sat in her usual chair by the window, the same one she had sat in for weeks, maybe even months. A blanket across her knees. A warm mug in her hands. But her heart still cold. She didn't feel inspired. She didn't feel strong. She didn't even feel ready. But that morning, almost without thinking, she reached over to the side table and picked up her Bible. Not because she felt spiritual, not because she expected something to change, but because something inside her whispered, "Don't give up on this just yet." She let the pages fall open. Not guided, not planned, just surrendered. And there it was, Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That verse, later on, it will become the prayer we'll whisper together. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. There was no flash of light or dramatic revelation, but something inside her paused. She read it again, slower this time. Renew their strength. That word, renew, it felt like a seed dropped into dry ground. Her circumstances hadn't changed. Her prayers were still quiet. But there was something about those words that didn't ask her to do anything, just to keep hoping, to let God be the source, to let Him renew what had faded. And in that stillness, Mary didn't feel fixed. She didn't feel on fire, but she felt as if God had left a note on her kitchen table that read, "I'm still here, and I see how tired you are." That one verse, on a random morning after countless silent ones, lit a small spark inside her again. Not a fire, not even a flame, just a flicker. But that flicker was enough to remind her that even deserts can bloom. That hope doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. From that morning forward, Mary didn't wake up feeling completely different. She didn't leap out of bed with joy. The clouds didn't part and the answers didn't pour in. But something had changed. There was now a flicker inside her, so small she didn't know what to call it. Maybe it was trust. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was just the memory of what it used to feel like when her faith felt alive. Whatever it was, she held on to it. And each morning, she did something simple. She sat by the window. She opened her Bible, even if just for a minute, even if she didn't feel anything. She began to whisper one short line to herself. God, give me enough to believe for one more day. It wasn't a dramatic prayer, but it was real. It was all she had. She told me one day that she had started treating hope like brushing her teeth, a quiet act of care that didn't feel life-changing in the moment, but mattered over time. It didn't make the hard things disappear. Her struggles with family, her health, the long lingering ache of loneliness. They didn't vanish, but she had found something stronger than control: consistency. And in that consistency, God met her. Not always in powerful ways. Sometimes in the breeze through the curtain, sometimes in the way the sun hit the kitchen counter. Sometimes in a verse she had read 100 times, but suddenly noticed again. One morning, she came across this verse in Romans. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Romans 15:13. She closed her eyes, and she whispered, "Overflow, even now? Even me?" In just a few seconds, we'll pray together. It wasn't a question of doubt. It was wonder, a quiet realization that maybe, just maybe, God had never asked her to overflow with strength or answers, only with hope. We'll pray in a moment. Now, if you're still here with me, that means something in you is still reaching. Even if you don't know what for, even if all you feel is tired, that's enough. You don't have to feel spiritual to pray. You don't need big, poetic words. You don't even need to know what you want to say. Sometimes the most powerful prayers begin with just a breath and the willingness to sit still in God's presence. So let's do that now. Breathe. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hands rest. Let the weight you've been carrying settle. Picture this. The room is quiet. You're sitting alone, but you're not alone. Jesus is there, not standing far off with judgment, not disappointed in your weariness. He's sitting beside you, hands open, heart wide, waiting, not rushing, just staying. And you can say whatever's real, even if it's just, God, I don't know what to say. I want to trust you, but I don't know how anymore. I'm still showing up, even when I feel empty. I'm not okay, but I want to be near you. Or maybe no words come at all. Maybe it's just silence. Maybe it's just the sound of your breath. That's still prayer. That is still holy. Because God doesn't need eloquence. He desires honesty. He meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. And sometimes just sitting still in the silence is the loudest kind of faith. Sometimes faith sounds like, I'm still here. And friend, that's enough. That's more than enough. Even if the tears fall, even if you feel nothing, even if you don't have energy for the next step, He's not leaving. He's not waiting for you to get it together. He's already here, listening, understanding, loving. So let this be your prayer. The honest one, the small one, the one that doesn't fix anything but opens everything. Lord, this morning I'm not coming to impress you. I'm not coming with answers or plans. I come with what's left. Hands that have held too much, a heart that's bruised in places no one sees, eyes that have learned how to smile even when the soul is shaking. God, I've prayed so many prayers. Some I don't remember anymore. Some I stopped saying out loud because silence felt safer than disappointment. But right now, in this still, sacred moment, I want to try again. I want to believe that you're still listening, that you haven't grown tired of my voice, that you're not asking me to earn your comfort, only to receive it. So I lift this broken heart to you, not polished, not proud, just real. I give you my weariness, the part of me that wants to run away, the part of me that feels numb, the part that still dares to whisper, God, please hold me together. I surrender the prayers that didn't get answered the way I thought they would. I lay down the timelines I created, the should have happened by now expectations, the quiet anger I've buried under busy days. And I say this instead. You are God, and I am not. But I am still yours. I don't need you to fix everything this morning. I just need to know you're still sitting here with me, still breathing grace over the places I've given up on, still calling me beloved, even when I feel unworthy. Lord, give me just enough strength to believe again. Today, not for the next 10 years, just for today. Enough peace to unclench my fists, enough love to remember that I am still held, enough hope to get out of bed and whisper, I am not alone. And Lord, if I forget this prayer tomorrow, please remind my heart, if you've made it this far, this final whisper is just for you, that you still remember it. Thank you for staying here, for giving your heart a moment to rest, for choosing to breathe. Even when life feels heavy, maybe this video didn't fix everything, maybe your circumstances haven't changed, but if your soul feels even a little softer, if a small ember of hope flickered again, then this moment mattered. Healing doesn't come like lightning. It comes like morning, software, slow, faithful. It comes when we let ourselves be seen by God just as we are, tired, unsure, and still beloved. So if this prayer touched something inside you, type, I still choose hope in the comments. Let someone else know. They're not walking this journey alone either. And if you're too tired to type, that's okay too. Your presence here is a prayer in itself. Before you go, here's one last whisper for your heart. You are loved, you are healing, and you are never forgotten. If this moment helped you breathe, feel free to share it with someone else. Someone who might be quietly aching, too. Because sometimes it takes just one whisper to remind someone that they're not invisible. And if you'd like to start more mornings like this, quiet, prayerful, soft, with grace, you're always welcome here. This space is for you. No pressure, no perfection, just presence. Until we meet again, may peace rise to meet you like dawn, and may hope hold your hand. One more day.